Okay, so we've shown it to you from pretty much every angle there possibly is. There's pretty much no two ways about it. If you're awake, you're aware. These guys have been spraying us for as long as I can remember and pretty much as long as I've been alive, which is clocking on 5 decades. These guys started spraying out on the 𝗏𝗍𝗻𝗿 Trail, seeding the clouds so they would wash out the trail, making it more difficult for the people they decided to attack in Vietnam and blame it on a war or a false flag event. They decided to try to wash out the trail so these guys couldn't move their troops to defend themselves from people like my own family members that were there, not realizing the entire war was based on a lie. But I digress. We have shown you, you have heard from pilots, you have seen the cockpits, you've seen the patents, you can see the skies, more importantly, or the lack thereof. Every single solitary day, these guys are out there, no matter what. You will not see a sunrise that does not look like it's behind melted plastic. They're spraying the sky. They're spraying the sky. They're spraying the sky. In 2017, they came out with Operation Solar Shield. And at the very end of 2016, they came out with new clouds for children to learn at in school, brought to you by NASA. Suddenly, clouds have been completely reclassified because they've damaged the atmosphere so much they have to come up with some bullshit excuse, and it would be the school cloud identification chart. They're spraying the skies. They're spraying the skies. You can't miss it. And yet 9 out of 10 people do. They don't see it whatsoever at all. But even worse than all of this right now is this. On the 13th of November 2017, more than 15,000 scientists from 184 countries issue warning to humanity. It comes 25 years after the first notice in 1992 when a mere 1,500 scientists issued a similar warning. What they're trying to tell people is there's a ripple effect from the climate change, the global warming, a decline in freshwater availability, unsustainable marine fisheries, ocean dead zones, forest losses, dwindling biodiversity, climate change, which seems like a double whammy right there, and population growth. So apparently, the worse the water is, the less fish there are, the more dead's the ocean, the less trees that you have, and the more you spray the skies, you get more people, according to this math right here. But there's a funny thing about all of this, is they're glossing over these 15,000 scientists from 184 countries issuing warnings to humanity. What about these 31,487 American scientists have signed this petition, along with 9,029 with PhDs, including puppet President Barack Hussein Obama's science czar, have all signed this petition back in Kyoto, Japan in 1997. All of these guys, I would be willing to wager a brand new, shiny, copper-plated round disc of zinc backed up by absolutely nothing. None of these gentlemen probably have jobs right now, and all of these guys are probably in the unemployment field as well, because they probably all lost their funding. This isn't a hoax. This is entirely real. The Global Warming Petition Project. I apologize that I cut it off, but it is what it is here at RFB Studios. This is absolute nonsensical bullshit, but this is what they're pushing, along with the photoshopped image of Earth. You see what I'm saying? Because if this was an actual photograph from an actual satellite in actual outer space of an actual ball that we live on, the entire sky would look like an actual tic-tac-toe board. And actually, it doesn't. So there's that. At any rate, I will leave links in the description. This is getting incredibly insane. This is a full court press. They're coming at us from every single angle. Everywhere you look, all of a sudden, geoengineering is the answer. Geoengineering is the answer. And they do it like a lying little child, where they say, we're upset, we're worried that politicians will use geoengineering instead of trying to lower our carbon footprint. Even though Any of us that have lived for 3, 4, 5 decades know that CO2 is actually plant food. And forest losses, well, it probably has nothing to do whatsoever at all with them clear cutting so they can grow more soy, so they can grow more cows, so they can make more McDonald's. I'm sure that's got nothing to do with the equation. The dead zones in the ocean, surely they have nothing to do with things like this, because this had nothing to do with it at all. This unsustainable, unbelievable, unsurmountable amount of oil they were dumping into the ocean for the longest amount of time, this is one of many. And I'm sure Fukushima just completely fixed itself, and the water around there must be spectacular to drink. You see what I'm saying? Something they never even talk about whatsoever at all anymore. That had nothing to do with all the wacky things that we're seeing where the ocean is completely dying off, where radiation is showing up in the Atlantic Ocean because it's attaching itself to vessels and finding its way into opposite oceans. I'm sure that has nothing to do with it at all. Not at all. And the never-ending parade of birds falling from the sky, fish dying off in schools of 500 to a million plus. That's just global warming. The temperature was wrong for them that day, and they all died in mass quantities. This is geoengineering, solar remediation, solar dimming, whatever you want to call it, but we know it best as chemtrails, and they're using NEXRAD, Doppler, and HAARP-like technologies. This is ridiculous, and it's going to get worse, apparently, because they wouldn't be massaging the public as much as they are right now, and they are right now. Every place that you look, geoengineering is in the mix, from Rolling Stone to television shows. Beware and tell these people that we do not consent. Keep this going. Do not stop, because they're not stopping. We're running out of time, and they're getting rid of us one by one by one. Richie from Boston. Links will be in the description. Like, share, subscribe, or don't. I'm out.